Alright, YouTube, David Harry here, and this video is just going to be me testing for the noise floor on the Behringer UV1. So what I'm doing here is very specifically plugging it into my camcorder directly, so no external recording and stuff like that. Now, in order to do this, I'd already made mention on the first video that I'd done with the UV1, the unboxing and stuff. Its output is really loud, so what I've had to do here is kind of reduce myself a little bit compared to what I normally would do in order for me to get a level that doesn't blast the input on my camcorder, and that is even in bypass mode. So what I'm doing here is to test the noise floor in bypass mode, which is what I'm in right now, and then also I'm going to switch in the signal chain, but I will not have any of the effects in. So it's just purely to see what the difference is going to be like within the noise floors of like bypass and not bypass basically, and without any of the effects. So right now I should be getting, well, I'm getting a nice level input. Now the other thing here, I will not be applying any of my usual like post-processing as in limiting. So this signal may or may not be as loud as other stuff, blah, blah. But it is just to test a very specific thing. Anyways, what I'm going to do now is go quiet in bypass mode and let's have a listen to what the noise is like. Okay, so what I've done now, I have switched in the processing pathway, as it were. Like I say, there's no effects on, but the signal is now running through the processing pathway. And to do that, what I've done is regained now. So this level now is somewhere similar to the level when I was in bypass, but I've had to manually change the input level now. What it is, when it's in bypass mode, I have to put the preamp right down to the lowest it'll go, which basically doesn't even hit -24, right? Which could be problematic in certain ways depending upon where the gain staging is all occurring and stuff like that. And of course, because I'm using a camcorder, which doesn't have a line input, it has a mic input, which I have to drop down loads. It may not be the most optimal way of getting the gain stage sorted. However, it's the only way that I can do it in this particular configuration to test what's going on right now. So like I say, this is now running through the signal path, but without anything plugged in or switched on. And I'm getting what is visually looking like a very similar signal. Now in post, I would have just balanced both of these levels. So I've got something which is like similar, like output wise. No gaining though through through any kind of limiting and stuff. Just basic re-leveling of the channels, and I should not have I shouldn't have to have regained or leveled by anything more than a couple of dB really, because the signals do look very similar going in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just go quiet again with this take. So once again, this is test. I've just burped. Dirty pig. Right, what it is, I'm drinking some nice herbal tea at the moment. I'm easing off the coffee when I'm doing some of my tests because I just get too all like wound up and stuff and start swearing and trying to avoid it for a bunch of videos. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go quiet, and what we're going to be listening for here is the noise floor at a relatively similar level, like level wise, but with the actual with the actual effects chain plugged in, as I've just explained probably about 5 times. Anyway, here's some noise. Now when I said here's some noise, hopefully there wasn't any noise, but the thing is right now, both of those tests that I've just done for like the clear silence are going to be really low anyway. And as to whether under normal listening conditions there's going to be really any difference to be heard there as far as any potential noise is concerned. Now what I'm going to do is just alternate between those two like silence tests. But what I'm going to do is raise them up very considerably And that's just so that I can definitely raise up the noise floor in post, right? So they're both going to get raised by the same amount. Right now, I don't know what that is, but I'll flash up on the screen right now how much I've raised them up by in order to get this output that we're going to hear now. So this is both of them alternating, but raised up, so we can definitely hear some hiss and then see, like, you know, which one is hissier than the other. Okay, so with those two levels then raised up, that should give us a really good idea as to what the real differences are between them. And when I say real, obviously when you're gaining stuff that high, so you have to hear something, hopefully that's indicative of something that was really quiet in the first place. And hopefully both of them were so quiet in normal listening conditions that it wouldn't really, like, you know, basically wouldn't really mean that there was any noise there at all. That's what I'm hoping for, hence what this test is for. Anyways, the other thing is here is, was there any real difference when I switched in the signal path as opposed to going bypassed as far as the tone of the microphone or my voice sounded as well? So yeah, if anyone's come across this, let me know what you think of, like, you know, the silence sections and the differences between them. There might have been massive differences, I don't know, because I've still obviously not heard it. And also, was there much difference between, like, you know, bypassed and not as far as the actual tone is concerned? Because that's the other thing as well. When you're running through a signal chain, things like the tonal qualities can change as well. And if they did change, were they massive changes or anything like that? Okay, so like I said, that'll do it for this video. And what I'm going to do is the same test again, but I will do it where it's plugged into like, say, my Mac or something, and it's going to be like recorded digitally, and see what the differences are with that. But for now, this was a pure analog outputs like way of doing it and stuff like that. And this is also ahead of me getting a new mic. I've just ordered myself a Rode NT1 as well. Just thought it was about time I got one. So hopefully this type of test is going to be good for me to know what I'm going to be able to do with the NT1 and stuff like that. Anyways, that'll do for this video. So let me know in the comments, was there anything to be heard there? And if so, was it dead obvious or not? I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.